Is freedom your siren call? Well, it's absolutely mine. There is nothing in the world more important to me than freedom. And how do we create freedom in our lives? I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor, and this is part of my Live Lavishly Manifesto series. So if you don't have the Live Lavishly Manifesto, go to my website, brendaflorida.com, and you can sign up to have it sent right to your inbox. And freedom is definitely my siren call. Okay, there's nothing that motivates me more than freedom. So how do we create freedom in our lives? How do we this may sound silly, but how do we know what will make us free, right? Because there are sometimes we think something will create freedom in our lives and it doesn't, right? Like I think more money will give me more freedom, but in the end I just feel like I have more responsibilities. Or I think a new job is going to give me freedom, or maybe a relationship or something, or getting out of a relationship is going to give me freedom, but it really doesn't. So part of that is because, much like in our video about abundance, freedom to a degree is a feeling state. It's whether or not I've given myself permission to approach my life from a sense of a real knowing that I am always free, right? Anything that would tell me otherwise is a restriction I've placed on myself, or I've let my culture or society place upon me. So that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect of it is we all make choices every day that can either create or restrict the level of freedom that we're experiencing in our lives. And so it really takes you have to really take a hard look at yourself to say, okay, am I doing things that are causing me to feel like my freedom is being restricted? Because I always say, it doesn't serve any of us to blame others. So if you're not feeling free, it's not because of your relationship, it's not because of your job, it's not because of your bank balance, whatever. It's because of you. So sorry. And it's because of me for me. And the reason why that is really powerful is because the beauty is when you take responsibility for it, you get to change it, right? If we're truly victims, if it really is someone else's fault, you have to go change someone else. And there's really no way to change somebody else. We don't really have any control over that. But what I do have total control over is myself and whether or not I change. So I love the idea. I was trained as a life coach by Martha Beck. And one of the things she talks about in our training, but also in several of her self-help books, which I encourage you to check out if you haven't, is this idea of, or concept of, shackles on, shackles off. So think of yourself, being handcuffed, and that would feel very restricting, right? Or then if you take them off, you feel free. So I encourage you, even in your daily activities, like look at your to-do list, okay? Because this works for the sort of mundane things of life as well as the big decisions like relationships and work and things like that. But look at that list and what you have to do. Maybe you have to go to the grocery store, clean the house, go to the gym, whatever is on your list today. And think about each of those things. And if doing them feels more like shackles on or shackles off. And you want to create as many ways to have everything that you do in a day feel shackles off, right? Because that's the feeling of freedom. And even if you're in the process, like let's say in the big picture, you realize you need to change jobs. You're not in work that is meaningful to you and feels like a really great expression of yourself. And of course, we know in this live lavishly mindset that we want all areas of our lives to be fantastic. So maybe you're working towards a change there. So you can't look at that one thing and say, okay, well, tomorrow I have to make a decision, so I'm shackles off. I have a different job, and I've, totally changed that part of my life. There's going to be a million baby steps between here and there. So take each one of those baby steps and keep checking in with it. Does that feel shackles off to me? Okay, I'm going to keep going. If it's something like grocery shopping or something, if it feels shackles on, could you think about doing it later in the day, or doing it tomorrow, or something like that, that will create something that feels more shackles off for you today? Or is there some way to delegate it? Ask a partner, one of your teenage kids, whatever, to stop by and pick something up. Could you do without it? Whatever. Anything you can do to make that feel more shackles off. Okay. So I just encourage you, I'd love to get your feedback down in the comments below about maybe some of the silly little things, and maybe some of the bigger things that you're working on to create that sense of freedom in your life, because you're in control of it, and that's the beauty of it. So I hope that you're living lavishly today by finding every way possible to live with more freedom in your life. Thanks, everybody.